Sting, hello. What an honor. What a pleasure to speak to you.
Hi, Mitch. Nice to speak to you, too.
Your residency at Caesar's Palace in Vegas kicked off this weekend. It's called Sting My Songs, and no surprise, the reviews are all stellar across the board.
Thank you.
So I guess I'm assuming you're living at Caesar's Palace for the next couple of weeks?
No, I'm actually in Malibu at the moment. I work Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, and then I come down to the beach here and look at the sea.
Well, that doesn't sound like such a bad life.
It's really not a bad life at all. I mean, in the past, I would have thought of a residency as being quite onerous. It's like a life sentence. But this is quite easy. Three nights a week for 3 weeks, and then I'll do it again in June. As long as it seems to be working, I'm very happy.
When you're there, Sting, are you able to walk around the casinos, walk around the strip at all without being harassed for selfies and that type of thing?
Yeah. I mean, people are sweet. They just say hi, Sting. I've been to see a few shows. I saw Lady Gaga, who blew me away. I went to see Lionel Richie, who also blew me away. I've seen a few shows.
Yeah, it's a great place to do that. And it must be a wonderful thing for an artist to be able to play the same room night after night without having to worry about everything that goes into touring and playing a different venue each night, the sound checks, that type of thing.
It's unusual for me. Normally I'm on tour. I'm in a different city every night. But having my own room has allowed me to create a visual context for each song. It's a kind of separate world. And the technology is very, very state of the art at the moment. So we're creating these worlds for songs, and I've never had that opportunity before. So I'm very excited by that novelty.
I liked what you said on stage during one of the shows. In Vegas, it's best to just play your hits. All my songs are bleeping hits, and that is so very true.
I was being slightly arrogant there, but there's the truth in it.
And I know you did play 2 new songs during the shows. Both are on your upcoming album, Bridges. That drops November 19th, by the way. You played Rushing Water, which I love, and If It's Love. I'm also a big fan of that one. Was the new album written during the pandemic?
It was. I began at we were in San Francisco doing my play, The Last Ship, and the mayor closed the city down. So I had no choice but to head home to England. I started work the next day in my studio at 10 in the morning and worked through till dinner. No agenda, no plan, just I knew that if I didn't work, I'd go completely nuts. So I was very fortunate, thought of it as an opportunity rather than an imposition. And at the end of it, I have a record. So I'm very pleased I could do that. I'm lucky.
Without seeing people or having new experiences, because we were all stuck indoors, you included, how did you find motivation to create music?
I began writing about all characters who are in some sort of transition between worlds, between life and death, between sickness and health, between relationships. And so the metaphor of the bridge, which is the title, there's a title song called The Bridge, seemed a useful one. But I think we're all looking for a bridge to the future where we can find a place less anxious, more hopeful, happier, safer. I'm looking for that bridge. I think everyone is. And in light of the crises we're all facing, climate change and the pandemic and the political turmoil, we're looking for that bridge. I don't know quite what it is or where it is, but I know it has to exist.
There's a wonderful web series that you've put out. You find it through your website, Sting.com, and it's a behind-the-scene look at the rehearsals for the tour and the shows. And I really enjoyed seeing that. It was very interesting to me.
Well, it's a video diary. It's very impromptu, and we just make it when we have, we see something. If I'm walking through a city and I see the Arc de Triomphe, I'll make some comment on it. Or it's just my life generally behind the scenes that people don't often get access to. So that's our video diary.
Sting, you're also, as you know, you're also starring in a wonderful series on Hulu called Only Murders in the Building. I just adore this series, starring Steve Martin, Martin Short, Selena Gomez, and you play a slightly more cantankerous version of yourself, and you're just wonderful in the show. How did this come about being?
Well, I've known Steve and Martin for many years. I've worked on Saturday Night Live on a number of occasions, so they know me and wrote a gag in the thing and said, would I mind being in it? I said, no problem. So I spent 2 days with them. Had great fun. Met Selena, who's gorgeous. And now they're going to do a second series. So as I live in the building, you would think I'd get a walk on occasionally, or collecting the groceries or walking one of those awful dogs. But who knows?
Well, it's just a wonderful show. I just love it. And I have to ask you this. A lot of us have put on a couple pounds during the lockdown, but you're as fit and trim as ever. And I know yoga continues to be a huge part of your life. Do you ever have a cheat day? Do you ever just have French fries and ice cream and chocolate?
Of course I do.
Good.
I'm also very vain.
Well, you look wonderful. And by the way, I love the yellow suit that you wore at least one night in the new show in the residency. It's very becoming.
That yellow suit is doing most of the work, frankly.
Sting, it's an absolute pleasure to talk to you. Our time is short, but congratulations on the residency and the new album, Bridges, coming out November 19th. Looking so forward to it. Have a wonderful rest of your day, sir.
Thanks, Mitch. God bless.